When all seemed calm, a new theory emerged that made the public even more curious. Hidden connection theory phase, the phase in which netizens begin to connect small pieces becomes an alleged deeper linkage. Collision theories start to emerge. A lot of speculation, said to have been at the same event without being exposed. Activity times rated coincidence too often, until the alleged circle of friends who are connected backhand index pointing right make some of the public feel this is not just a coincidence. Brain netizen. Too many coincidences. Comments began to change direction. If once it may be a coincidence, but this is repeated, a pattern is beginning to appear. Or are we overthinking? Magnifying glass tilted left. Deeper start analysis. The discussion progressed to timeline of each activity, location and time matchup to indirect interaction, backhand index pointing right, all linked into one big narrative. The difference between fact and speculation, it is worth highlighting. There is no real evidence confirming this yet, all still based on interpretation, and it could have been just an enlarged coincidence. Hourglass not done. Current situation. Public curiosity increases. Theory continues to evolve and attention goes back up. Direct hit conclusion. Hidden connection theory phase: backhand index pointing right, how a small piece can turn into a big theory in the public eye. And this story has not stopped, and it precisely goes into the most curious phase, where the public begins to look for the meaning behind every apparent coincidence. Fire deeper. Pattern recognition phase. Public claims to find pattern between Moonjia Young and Cha Eun-woo. Curiosity is now leveling up. It's no longer just a theory. Some netizens are starting to feel like they're finding a pattern. Pattern recognition phase in which pieces of events are considered to be interconnected and form a hidden pattern. Collision pattern talked about. A lot of people claim an event that occurs in close proximity, activity that looks synchronous, and small moments that are considered interrelated. Backhand index pointing right makes some of the public feel this is no ordinary coincidence. Brain netizen. This is starting to make sense. The reaction becomes more intense. It's a one-stop shop, but if you look around, why does the pattern repeat? Or is this just a coincidence forced into theory? Magnifying glass tilted left. Increasingly complex analysis. The discussion progressed to detailed timeline, public schedule comparison until the correlation between events, backhand index pointing right. Some even make a complete summary. The risk of overinterpretation in this phase. It is important to remember, patterns can arise due to perception. Not all coincidences mean relatedness, and information can be biased if only to choose a suitable one. Hourglass not done. Current situation. Increasingly complex theories. The public is more curious, but real evidence still does not exist. Direct hit conclusion. The pattern recognition phase: backhand index pointing right, how do humans tend to look for patterns even when they don't necessarily exist? For Moon Jeong and Cha Eun-woo, the story is now at its most ambiguous point, between coincidences that look connected, or there really is something that has not yet been revealed. Fire the most mysterious point. Coincidence versus reality phase, public split. Coincidence, or is there fact behind? And after all the theories and patterns have emerged, now the situation goes into the most confusing phase. Coincidence versus reality phase, a phase in which the public is really torn between believing this is a coincidence, or that there is something that has not yet been revealed. Collision. Two great narratives collide. Now there are only two main camps. Pushpin Kubu, it's a coincidence, all just the result of interpretation. Similarities and timeline inexplicably, no concrete evidence. Pushpin Kubu, there is something. There are too many moments that are considered connected. Unnatural. Rated pattern, believe there are things that are not publicly visible. The debate becomes more intense. Brain netizen. Believe which one? Comments getting sharper. It's a coincidence, but it feels weird. There is no evidence, but also cannot be ignored. This is curious, a reality that is difficult to ascertain. Existing facts. No official confirmation, no hard evidence, but there is also no specific rebuttal to each theory. Backhand index pointing right keeps the gray space open. Why this phase lasts the longest? Because there is no definite answer. Both sides have arguments, and curiosity is hard to lose. Hourglass not done. Current situation. The debate is still alive. No real development, but public interest has not fallen. Direct hit conclusion. Coincidence versus reality phase shows backhand index pointing right. When facts are not strong enough, perception can take over. And this story is now at the most difficult point, where the truth is not yet visible, but curiosity is getting bigger and lasting to the most thought-provoking level. Psychological projection phase. The public comes to its senses. Is it about or about our perception? After a long debate without a definitive answer, a deeper and unexpected phase emerged. Psychological projection phase in which the public begins to question whether all this is really a fact, or the result of one's own perceptions and desires. Collision from rumor to reflection. Direction of discussion changed. It's no longer just a question of are they right, but why do we want it to be true? And do we see what we want to see? Backhand index pointing right make this issue more complex than just gossip. Brain netizen. Maybe we made the story comments start to change. We connect everything too much, perhaps. This is just an enlarged coincidence. Or do we want them to be together? Magnifying glass tilted left phenomena that occur which is clearly visible. Fans connect small dots building a narrative from pieces of information and reinforce beliefs with assumptions. Backhand index pointing right patterns that often occur in the world of fandom. The fine line between fact and hope in this phase. Facts are less and less discussed, perception increasingly dominant, and emotions begin to affect judgment. Hourglass not done. Current situationo new evidence discussion turns reflective and the intensity began to stabilize. Direct hit conclusion. The psychological projection phase. Backhand index pointing right that sometimes the biggest story is not about what happened, but about how we understand it for and they may just live life as usual, but in the public eye, they have become part of a story shaped by the curiosity, hope, and imagination of fans. Fire deepest phase. Reality detachment phase. Moon Jae-young and Cha Eun-woo's story begins to escape the facts when the discussion has gone too far. Now comes the most extreme phase. Reality detachment phase, the phase in which the narrative that the public builds begins to detach from the original facts and live as a own versioned. Collision public version story versus reality. What's happening now? The public has their own version of the story. Theories evolve without the need for new evidence, and the narrative lives on even if the facts don't change. Backhand index pointing right as if there are two worlds, reality and the public version. Brain netizen. The important thing is to make sense in the head. Comments start like this. Not proven but logical in my opinion. I believe this version. This theory makes more sense than any other. Magnifying glass tilted left narrative begins to stand alone. Interesting. The old theory continues to be used as a basis. Small pieces of supporting evidence, and the story develops without real confirmation. Backhand index pointing right make it feel like a whole story. The risk of total distortion in this phase. Real facts can be forgotten. Speculation feels like truth, and the public is difficult to distinguish which reality. Hourglass not done. Current situation. The discussion stays alive, but not based on new developments and more driven by perception. Direct hit conclusion. Reality detachment phase shows. Backhand index pointing right. A story can live on, even without new facts. For Moon Jae-young and Cha Eun-woo, this is no longer just a rumor, rather, it is a public narrative that has developed on its own, regardless of what is really happening in the real world. Fire the most extreme phase. Narrative lock-in phase. Story and already locked in the public mind. After the narrative is detached from reality, it now enters an even stronger stage. Narrative lock-in phase, a phase in which the public already chooses the version of the story they believe, and it is difficult to change, even if new facts emerge. Collision beliefs already formed that looks now. Some people believe it's just a coincidence, others believe there is something behind it, and each defends his opinion. Backhand index pointing right make the discussion no longer change direction. Brain netizen. I already have my version. Comments start like, I still believe it's just a rumor. For me, this is too much coincidence.